No one wanted this aging dog. Then this small child met her and did something amazing. Finding homes for shelter dogs is quite a challenging undertaking. This is due to the fact that many individuals would choose to get a puppy from a breeder in order to have their furry buddy from the very beginning of its existence. But when this small girl encountered this ancient dog, she did something so sweet and startling that you won't believe it. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. 12-year-old Molly Wogan had always liked animals, but dogs had always been her favorite. She liked them so much, in fact, that she made the decision to volunteer at her neighborhood dog shelter with her family in 2016. The Massachusetts-based shelter was known as Cape Ann Animal Aid. Since they enjoyed helping all of the cute dogs while they awaited their new forever homes, Molly and her family had been volunteering at the shelter for a time. Their duties included feeding the dogs, playing with them, walking them outside of their kennels, and providing some basic training. One day, after a wonderful day of spoiling puppies, Molly and her mother Mindy were about to wrap up their shift and head home when an employee unexpectedly approached them. The service member asked Molly and her mother if they may walk just one final dog before they went. The mother and daughter exchanged glances. Though they were prepared to head home with their coats on, they couldn't resist taking in another dog in need of a stroll. Our shift was about to finish and we were ready to go. In an interview, Mindy stated, "We even had our coats on when the staff asked us if we could take out just one more dog, Mama Grace. They said she was a little hyper in her kennel, barking constantly and refusing to go to the bathroom. Mama Grace, a black Labrador mix, was the dog in question. Even though she was an older dog, her extroverted tendencies persisted. But it was precisely this raucous activity that made Mindy uneasy around the puppy. She wondered that possibly Mama Grace might be too much for her and Molly to bear. She had no idea how mistaken she was. Mindy and Molly agreed to walk Mama Grace every day, so they carefully put on her leash and went for a walk. But as soon as they were outside, she seemed to completely transform. Mindy described her as cheerful and lively, not at all like the way she behaved in her kennel. She would sprint in my direction, pause, and settle down at my feet, staring up at me with her sad, soulful eyes. She was great. Because of their affection for Mama Grace's lively nature, Molly and Mindy ended up taking her on a long stroll. But as they headed back to the shelter, they found themselves getting more and more hesitant to let the black Labrador go back to her kennel. In the little time they had known the dog, the mother and daughter had fallen in love, and they couldn't face the idea of her returning to her previous state of fear and loneliness. Molly and Mindy realized at that same moment what needed to be done. The two Wogans told the shelter personnel that they wanted to foster Mama Grace while she was waiting for her new permanent home. They hoped that by giving her a vacation from the kennel, the dog would garner more interest from potential adopters as they would be able to see her genuine nature show through. The Black Lab soon started following Molly and her mother to their car when the shelter gave its approval. Mama Grace went after Molly as soon as she sprang into her seat in the back of the automobile. The canine leaped into the back seat and nestled up to Molly as close as she could for the entire vehicle trip back to their house. Once she went inside the home, Mama Grace continued to be exactly well-behaved. Mama Grace went straight to the building's entrance and settled in. She clung to anybody and everyone who would spare a few seconds of her time, even if they didn't. Riley, Molly's second dog, and she got along well right away and enjoyed playing with him. She blended in with everyone so immediately and unbelievably well that the whole family was thrilled. Mama Grace delighted everyone with her endearing demeanor and silly antics throughout the course of the following several days. Molly's mother realized after just 3 days that she would have to adopt Mama Grace. I knew in my heart on that car ride home that she was going to be ours, but I didn't admit that to anyone quite yet, Mindy recalled. As Mindy perused the adoption documents for the dog, she came across a piece of information that shed light on Mama Grace's tragic background and her journey to the shelter. A message from Sue Ann Eady of Earl's Hope Rescue in Georgia was found among the documents. Mindy remarked, "As I read the letter, I cried. The letter told her that Mama Grace had initially been a stray dog in Georgia. She had a few injuries on her body, so it was thought by a bystander that she had been struck by a car. Animal control authorities came to pick her up. In addition, the unfortunate puppy had areas of bald skin due to flea infestation and a mild case of mange. The worst aspect of Mama Grace's condition, however, was that she was pregnant and extremely underweight, weighing around 20 pounds or 9 kilograms less than normal. This was a dangerous scenario, since it was quite conceivable that the puppies may be stillborn owing to a shortage of nutrition to help them develop in the womb. Mama Grace was given a cursory examination by the veterinarian at the shelter after the animal control officers dropped her there, and she was then placed in her own kennel. Remarkably, the dog gave birth a few hours after her arrival. 10 pups were born to her. Thankfully, none of the dogs, including Mama Grace, were in danger of dying since they were all suffering from pneumonia. The shelter sent out an urgent plea begging for someone to come and save the family. As soon as Sue-Ann saw the message, she hurried over to get the sad puppies. Thankfully, all but one of the puppies survived under the kind care of the woman who cared for them all day and night. All of the puppies were placed in devoted new homes as they reached the appropriate age and health. Nevertheless, Mama Grace remained with Sue-Ann, who treated her for a while before putting her in the care of the Cape Ann Animal Aid Shelter so she might find a new permanent home. Both Mindy and her daughter were filled with emotion after reading the message. They sent Sue-Ann an email right away to inform her that Mama Grace had found a new home and would always be cherished and cared for. The three women made care to communicate on a regular basis after getting in contact with Sue-Ann. Sue-Ann eventually told Molly about all the dogs in the shelter that were still in danger and in urgent need of new homes. The little girl recognized at this point that she needed to do a volunteer activity in order to prepare for her bat mitzvah, and you will be touched by what she chose to accomplish. Molly resolved to create her own foundation in order to generate funds to aid in the rescue of other dogs, much like Mama Grace, keeping in mind all that Sue-Ann had taught her. She created her nonprofit and gave it the name The Paws Project. Molly decided that she wanted to donate to the local shelters by raising $2,500 or 2,400 pounds in a year. What followed, though, astounded her. Many individuals began to donate once word of her idea spread. At the close of 2017, Molly had amassed almost $28,000 in cash and $40,000, or 38,000 euros, in contributions. Sue-Ann's was one of the 14 shelters that received all of these gifts. In addition, she was able to locate 79 dogs, new permanent homes after saving them from high-kill shelters. Molly's effort soon evolved into a legitimate nonprofit organization that is still in operation today and continues to save pets. You may visit Molly's website to make a donation and support her in her endeavor. That girl is amazing, isn't she? Please leave a comment below with your thoughts on this video. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.